No surprise, we've been talking about this for the last couple of years as we've been tracking the production of the Walt Disney Company's live-action remake of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. They got rid of the Seven Dwarfs. It's just Snow White now because, Rachel Ziggler didn't want to have no man, didn't want to have no romance. The old movie was a very outdated, as she said, story with a man who spent the entire movie stalking her words. So the movie is not going to be about true love or true love's first kiss. It's not going to be about the prince rescuing Snow White. It's just going to be about Rachel Ziggler. Ho hum, ho hum. Snow White opens to $43 million. That is more than $10 million underneath domestically than what Deadline projected just about a week ago. It is amazing to see the absolute collapse of this film. And everything, and I do mean everything, about this movie in the media zeitgeist for the last 2 or 3 years has been an absolute abortion. This has been an abysmal failure from top to bottom. It started when Disney was deciding to remake Snow White, and one of the first people out there was Peter Dinklage, talking about how offensive it was that Disney would make a movie, God forbid, featuring little people, dwarves, whatever. I mean, it's like, why is this an issue? Why is Peter Dinklage so mad at the rest of all of his colleagues? Because what, Peter Dinklage rose to stardom and rose to fame as being a really fun and entertaining actor, but then somewhere along the road, Peter Dinklage did what? He decided that nobody else should have a shot? I don't get it. But Snow White, apart from that, and apart from Rachel Ziegler's big fat mouth going over and over again for the last several years with many of the stories that we've shown you, has just been an absolute travesty for this film. And that's one of the biggest themes of tonight. And I really can't stress that enough, because when you have Rachel Ziegler, who apparently has not had a very good week, I guess because she has seen the writing on the wall just as much as the Walt Disney Company has, when it comes to what this movie's performance is looking like it's going to wind up being. And we showed folks earlier today in a video that I published about 5 hours ago. Well, you got this. You got this Rachel Ziegler out there who is she's very unhappy. So here this is.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And to everyone...
Like what? What is she talking about here? The Louvre? Like in France? In Paris?
Came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Rachel, let me help you out here, sugar. You are an insufferable, overgrown, spoiled brat. You're an overgrown 13-year-old. You are self-absorbed. You may well, unfortunately, represent the worst of the Snapchat generation, the worst of the Instagram filter generation. Since this movie has started, you have run your mouth to tell the planet how poor our tastes are in actual quality filmmaking and storytelling. You have run your mouth sideways to tell us that we're bigots and sexists, to actually have the audacity to think that the 1937 classic masterpiece that frankly built the Walt Disney Company, well, we think it's good, and you think it was trash. You think it was sexist. You think it was stalking. You think it was outdated. And now, apparently, you have the temerity to bitch and moan that audiences have said, nope, not going to have it. I got news for you, sugar. Let me explain something from me to you. As a 45-year-old man who has been married to the same wonderful woman for 20 years, been with her total for 26 years now. And a man who has two teenage daughters, one that is a sophomore in college, another that's a junior in high school, and yeah, an almost 14-year-old son. Let me tell you something, sugar. The married women out there, the women that live in middle America, the women that are married to men, the women that have their own children, and guess what? Yeah, I hate to tell you, even the teenage girls, and especially the young girls, the target audience of this film that you were in, this film that you perverted with your stupid mouth and a bunch of bad writing and bad directing. I got news for you. They're not into the whole modern feminist screed. They're just not. And that's been made self-evident by the poor dog box office performance of your garbage film this weekend. Have fun with that.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.